Hey everybody, Troy from TR Tech Tactical and Survival. Sitting here by my log cabin in the woods. I'm going to spend some time here, do some videos, review some products, try out some things here. I've got specifically a little alcohol stove from a guy named Bill. Made this out of a water bottle and sent it to me. A lot of you will remember that. And I went out and got some isopropyl alcohol. This is iso heat, carburetor and fuel injector cleaner, and water remover, which is isopropyl alcohol. Burns pretty good too. Got that, got me some water, and especially most important, I have some coffee. So I'm gonna prepare myself a pot of coffee here on the stove. See how well this thing works out for us. I don't know exactly how much fuel I need to heat up water for coffee, so I'm just throwing some in there. I've got my accessories here. I've got a snow-filled pot full of dirty water. I have to give that a rinse. I was playing around with some snow here a little bit ago. Well, I might have to melt it out. A little snow never hurt anybody. Anyway, something I want to talk about later anyway is some snow for survival. So, I got my matches here. I've also got a survival belt pouch that I carry with me everywhere I go. Some of you may remember I got lost in the woods one time on the 56 acres of land in New York where we lived. And I didn't have a pouch on my side or any kind of survival gear at all. And I was hunting and it was getting dark. And that was, I was relatively new there. And that was really scary because there's coyotes and bear and, well, Bigfoot maybe, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff out there in the forest. And that was no fun. So I always have a survival pouch on me. To this day, I still get mocked about my survival fishing video, which, by the way, has some of the most views of all time that I've ever done. And people mock me for having a fishing pole with me in survival. Well, I think it's incredibly important in a survival situation to have equipment to survive. If you don't, you're going to die. And, I watched Survivor Man, for example, and he had a scenario where he says, if you don't have a fishing pole in this area, you will die. And, nobody mocks people for living, right? They only mock you if you die. Or if they think you're stupid for carrying man-made items into a survival situation. Hello? I'm not rubbing two wet sticks together to make a fire out here. Not if I don't have to. The alcohol ignites right now. I don't know if you can see that. So, I don't know what I'm doing here, really. If this was a hardcore survival scenario, I don't know if I would make it with this stove. I don't know. We're going to find out. So I do know with an alcohol stove, you let it burn and warm up until it starts to come out the holes in the side. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to get some water in the pot and get ready. By the way, this is an amazing water bottle. I think it's Landnick's, if I remember right. Yeah, Landnick's water bottle that I've been using. Melanie and I haven't been using recently. I like it a lot. Nice cup of coffee in there. Once that starts going through the side, then we'll make some coffee. Cold, refreshing water. I don't know how long it takes. It's starting to bubble in the bottom. It's got to be getting hot soon here. Bubbling. Oh, there comes the flames. Flames are starting to shoot out around the sides. There it goes. Now it's shooting out around the sides. Now we're cooking with fire. Alright, well, we'll see if there's enough alcohol left in that to heat up my water for a cup of coffee. Now, I did bring along some stuff that Bill had sent me along in that kit back in the time. I got some comfort items here. So I'm going to have, if I can get this heated up, I'm going to have some coffee and cocoa. It's warm out today somewhat, but it's still nice to have a good hot cup of coffee. And mix that up with some cocoa. I love the 50-50. Oh, I love it. So I really hope this turns out here. Not sure. My fire went out. Hope I can have a cup of coffee. You see the flames come up around it. Ooh, the wind blows it on my hand. Wow. There's a serious flame up. I think it's the amount of fluid you put in there has everything to do with it. I think I had too much fluid. I'm not confident enough in the stove yet, and I think that I didn't have enough. I think a heat shield is important, but I put the heat shield underneath it right now to insulate it or isolate it off the snow, which in this case I felt was a more valuable use of that heat shield at this time. Otherwise the thing's just going to sink into the snow and melt itself down to the ground and tip over my pot, which is not exactly desirable. Well, I'll let this burn a little bit, guys, and we'll see if I can get some coffee going here. I hope. Heat that up. Be back in a while. We've got steam. And there's some bubbles forming in there. It's a vile smelling alcohol. It's a sooty alcohol. He told me to use the yellow container. It's a methyl based alcohol, and I'm familiar with the isopropyl, so I grabbed that. I think next time I'll try the yellow container. He suggested that, and I only went with the iso because I know it's isopropyl. And like I said, I'm familiar with it, but hey, you know, stick with what was recommended, I think, next time. So we got bubbles already, and all I did, it started bubbling as soon as I shut off the camera. So it's pretty quick. It's really quick. I'm surprised. And only a couple ounces of alcohol was needed to get to this point. So I don't know if you saw very well, but all I did is fill the bottom of the container. And I think if you go over too much, it isn't able to burn properly. So I think I overfilled it in the beginning. And look at that, we're getting some serious bubbles. You got some serious bubbles coming out of there. You see that, guys? For water purification, that's a mouthful. I think I would make it. I think you have done a great job, Bill. Look at that. It's starting to boil. I'm going to have some coffee. Well, for coffee, that's hot enough for me. For purifying water, this thing's still going. I think I'm going to add a little bit more water, though, and cool it off for myself. Let that heat up some more. I want a little bit more coffee than that. Well, guys, I'll be back in a minute. I've transferred the water in my drinking pot. Carrots in my pocket. So that little stove works pretty good. I'm impressed. So, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee mixed with cocoa. See how this turns out. Feels good on the hands too. It's hot. It's still pretty hot. Oh yeah. It's good. Oh, is that weird? The sun is streaking over the top of the cabin right now. Sorry, I'm crouched down. It's hard to get everything in view and have the camera close enough to still get good audio. I'm using the one camera, not another, so I don't have the microphone hooked up. I should have brought the one with a microphone, obviously, for outdoor work, but whatever. By the way, this is still my favorite all-time two-pot set. I think it's Ozark Trails. I love this stuff. The one fits in the other. It's got fold-out handles and folds up neatly into its carry pouch, which I'm using as a table over here. And if I wanted to, I could have used the lid, which I wasn't thinking about, but I was using the lid to keep all this stuff off the snow. And the lid fits both pots perfectly. It's got a smaller indentation for the smaller pot and a larger indentation for the larger pot. And this is my all-time favorite pot set because it works as a cup, a soup bowl, a cooking pot, and it's something like 1.5 quart capacity. You can tell I've used this. Melanie and I, we both love this set very, very much. See some contrast there. We love this stuff so much. We use it heavily. It is our favorite cooking pot set. Stainless steel, ultralight. I'll put the links down below. I'm not affiliated with this stuff. I'm just telling you about it because I love it so much. I really do. Well, I'm going to enjoy my cup of coffee and get camp set up over here. It's been a while since I've been out here, and it survived the winter. It has survived the winter snow. Doesn't look any worse for the wear. I wasn't sure if it was going to make it. I had a lot of snow on that roof this winter, but it's alright. There it is. Alright. Thanks again, Bill. Thing works well. Thank you. Survival coffee.